Welcome to the second episode of Neuroplasm and Neo-Transcendental Minimalism. Today, we delve into the concept of Neo-Transcendental Minimalism, which emerges as a consequence of the transformation of the mind and perception, as understood through neuroplasm. The word, neo, refers to something new, something that arises from the combined need of the modern era to reassess ourselves and the world around us. Transcendental suggests the need for transcendence, an expansion of consciousness that moves us beyond limited logic and places us in a more ethereal abstract space. Minimalism constitutes the pure core of this process, seeking the essence of existence through abstraction and simplicity. Part 1. Purity and Abstraction in Neo-Transcendental Minimalism. Neo-Transcendental Minimalism puts forward the concept of purity, stripping away the thoughts, emotions, and contradictions that surround our daily perception. In an age of information overload and excessive synthesis, the search for the pure becomes essential. It is not merely a version of simplicity but a deep, substantial acceptance of the core of existence. Neo-Transcendental Minimalism does not eliminate the complexity of the world but rather recognizes and reconfigures it in a way that highlights the inner unity of contradictions. This form of abstraction is not a withdrawal from life, but a penetration into its core, without the unnecessary external garment of ideas, forms, and emotions. Part 2. Transcendence and Abstract Perception in Neo-Transcendental Minimalism. Neo-Transcendental Minimalism is essentially the philosophy of transcending the traditional limits of perception. The need for transcendence is not confined to rejecting the material or sensory, but rather to recognizing the changing nature of reality, as understood within the framework of neuroplasm. Transcendence is embodied in the experience that evolves, not in a static state. Abstraction in Neo-Transcendental Minimalism is not only aesthetic but also mental. It refers to the internal purity of the mind, the liberation from the distortions of emotional baggage and personal history. This clarity creates a new perception of the world, where everything, even the simplest things, acquires new dimensions and meanings. Part 3. The relationship with art and creation in Neo-Transcendental Minimalism. In art, Neo-Transcendental Minimalism is expressed through abstraction and the acceptance of absolute simplicity. Art does not aim for excessive complexity but for the absolute clarity of the message. Artists influenced by this movement move away from strict realism and narrative techniques, focusing on the essence of forms and concepts. Abstract art, minimalism, and interactive art integrate these principles, giving the audience the freedom to discover their own personal meaning. From Donald Judd's work in sculpture to Barnett Newman's famous painting, The Beginning of the End, Neo-Transcendental Minimalism influences contemporary artistic production in a way that reveals the internal dynamic of existence through austerity. Conclusion. Flow and continuous creation in Neo-Transcendental Minimalism. In the end, Neo-Transcendental Minimalism is a way to connect with the essence of the world, without accepting complexity as the ultimate truth. Instead, we reevaluate life, art, and the world around us with a more authentic, pure, and transcendent sense. A world where our thoughts can express creativity without being hindered by the unnecessary weight of the world. This philosophy seeks to connect with reality not through complexity, but through abstraction and simplicity, which allows the mind to evolve and create something new, something authentic and extraordinary.